Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Oliver, a software developer. I want to share my personal experience using Amazon Web Services, so I've created a YouTube playlist called AWS Exploration Series. In this series, we'll be building and deploying a web application step by step using various AWS services. In the upcoming episodes, we'll cover all the AWS services shown in this diagram. To build and deploy a web application, you'll need a local computer with an operating system installed. I personally prefer using the latest version of the Fedora XFCE Linux distribution, which you can download from this website. However, feel free to use Windows, Mac OS, or any other Linux distribution you're comfortable with. This web application will have two main parts, the backend and the frontend. We're building these parts separately, which makes the web application more flexible and easier to manage. The backend runs on a server and handles tasks like saving and retrieving data. We'll build it using the latest version of ASP.NET Core, and for that we'll need the latest .NET SDK. You can find instructions for installing the .NET SDK on Fedora at this website. Simply run this command in the terminal. The .NET SDK is also available for Windows, Mac OS, and other Linux distributions. The frontend is what the user interacts with in their web browser. It displays content, allows users to click buttons, fill out forms, and view information. We'll use the latest version of Angular to build the frontend. To do this, we'll need npm and Node.js. You can find instructions for installing npm and Node.js on Fedora at this website. Simply run this command in the terminal. npm and Node.js are also available for Windows, Mac OS, and other Linux distributions. I prefer using Visual Studio Code as my code editor. Instructions for installing it on Fedora can be found at this website. Visual Studio Code is also available for Windows, Mac OS, and other Linux distributions. However, if you prefer a different code editor, feel free to use it. I like using the dark theme for both Visual Studio Code and Firefox. You can enable dark mode on the AWS documentation page by clicking on Preferences and selecting Dark. Additionally, you can switch to dark mode in the AWS console by clicking on this icon and selecting dark as the visual mode. In the next episode, we'll create a custom virtual private cloud from scratch.